So me and Bridger decided to use the top equation, 3x squared plus 7x subtract 6. So for step A, we are going to demonstrate how to write the equation in factored form. So here's our equation. So we're using the slip inside slide, so we multiply c by a and then divide that x squared by a. So that puts our 3 over, and negative 6 times 3 is negative 18. But we got to remember this 3 for later on because that is our a. So our next step is we've got a factor, so we break it into these to start our factoring with. And so we know that 6 and 3 is 18, and 2 and 9 is 18. So we're going to use 2 and 9 because those will combine to make 7. So negative 2 and positive 9 because there are 18s and negative here. So x subtract 2 and x plus 9 is our second step or third. I don't know. And so then what we do after that is we divide them by a, the number we have to remember. And so this one will, thank you, Bridger. This one will simplify, and this one will not. So we just slide that one over to the x, and we simplify this one, and then we get 3x subtract 2 because we slide that over and it leaves just the 2, and we simplify this one, so we get x plus 3. That is our factored form, but to solve it we need to find two answers for x that will leave us with 0. So to get 0, this is a multiplication right here, so that makes things a bit easier, because now because it's a multiplication, we only need to get one side at a 0 because that multiplies the other side at a 0, getting it to 0. So this one to get to 0, x plus 3. That would mean that x is 3 below the middle, the x-intercept, or 3 below 0, so that it can get to be, so that because we need to add 3 to it to get to 0. So going up 3. So we know this is a negative 3, because negative 3 plus 3 is 0. So one answer, negative 3. Negative 3 plus 3 is 0, leaving this side 0, multiplied by that side doesn't matter because zeros are grenades and they blow stuff up. And so then we end up with a 0. And for our other answer, we've got the a here by the x, so we need to do other things, and we got to divide this number by a. So negative 2/3. But because we want it to equal 0, we got to make this a positive, so positive 2/3 is the other answer. Positive 2/3 times 3 is positive 2, subtract 2 is 0, multiplied by the other side doesn't matter because zeros are grenades, they blow stuff up, you get another 0. And now for step B, demonstrate how to verify your equation algebraically as well as using a calculator to verify the equation. So I verified this equation to you through this. And as well as using a calculator, I will plug these two into the calculator and show you that they are the same. Here we have our two equations. The equation we started out with, 3x squared plus 7x subtract 6, and the equation we came to, 3x subtract 2 multiplied by x plus 3. Here's the one that we came to and the one we started with. So we have them here, and I will prove to you that they are the same equation by going to the graph, and we'll see the first equation written out first, and there it is, and the second equation coming along in red runs right over the blue equation. And we can even prove this with the table by showing here that each one of these values is exactly the same. So that is how we verified it algebraically through this step, and then with the calculator. And so now how to find the solutions, we showed that right here. So we found the solutions to make this expression here equal 0. And so the relationships between this and the graph. The relationships between these two numbers of the graph is that these are the x-intercepts. These are what makes y equals 0. And so as we can see here in our graph, second there, where 2/3, which is the one number that we got, 2/3, at x is 2/3, our y is 0. So that is one x-intercept. And the other one, x is -3, we see here that at x is -3, y equals 0, 2. That is our other x-intercept. That is the relationship between the graph, between these two solutions to this expression and the graph. So the step E is explain uses for writing equations into factored form. This factored form is a good one way that you would put it into factored form instead of in standard form or in vertex form is that the factored form shows you the x-intercepts like this. That is the main reason for the factored form.
Determine how long the rocket was in the air. Explain which form of the function you used and why. And I used the factor form because these are your x-intercepts, and this is when they hit the ground, so that shows how long it was in the air for. Determine how tall the roof was. Explain which form and function you used and why. Okay, this one. And we chose standard form because it shows your y-intercepts, and this is where it crossed it first, and that's where it left the ground at.
The initial height.
Well, the initial height. Determine how high the rocket flew. Explain which form of the function you used and why. We used vertex form
because that is the y value for the top of the rocket's path.
Because that is the y value for the top of the rocket's path. Okay, now, to determine the velocity of the rocket, explain which form of the function you used and why. We used all of them because 16 right here is your slope or your velocity, and that shows in every single one of them that 16 is your velocity.